Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to online sport program for round 2 week 6. I'm Zubia Razak, your history teacher, and grade is 7. Recipe is chapter number 7, Pakistan since creation. Task 1, to understand about wars between Pakistan and India from textbook pages 80 to 83. Since the creation of Pakistan, a series of wars and conflicts have occurred between India and Pakistan. The main reason is that India was opposed to the idea of partition and has still not accepted the existence of Pakistan. The unjust partition of the continent, to which Muslim majority areas like Gurdaspur, Firozpur, Junagadh, and Kashmir were given to India. This became the basis of continued tension between the two countries. Kashmir was a Muslim majority princely state ruled by Hari Singh, a Hindu Raja. Its accession to Pakistan or India at the time of partition was to be decided by the people of Kashmir. The Kashmiris wanted to join Pakistan, however, the Raja acceded Kashmir to India with a military support. The Kashmiris have been fighting for their right to self determination ever since. The role of armed forces of Pakistan. In spite of having fewer resources and manpower, the armed forces of Pakistan have always given a befitting reply to any aggression by the enemy due to their conviction, valor, superior training, and motivation. The proud people of Pakistan have fought on all front sides by side with the armed forces. The role of women and children who provide all kinds of support to the armed forces can never be forgotten. Singers sang motivational songs which warmed the hearts of soldiers on the battlefield. Poets wrote patriotic poetry which is popular to this day. Indo-Pak War of 1947 to 1948. This war, also known as the First Kashmir War, was fought between Pakistan and India over the issue of the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. The state of Jammu and Kashmir was forcibly annexed by India after the partition in 1947. The presence of Indian troops in the state of Jammu and Kashmir led to the Kashmir War of 1948. Pakistani forces retaliated despite having limited resources. The war ended with a UN mediated ceasefire along a line that was demarcated as the line of control LOC. Many people embraced Shahadat, but some areas were liberated by Pakistan. These areas became what is now Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan's highest gallantry award, Nishan-e Haider, was awarded to Captain Muhammad Sarwar Shahid for his bravery during this war. Indo-Pak War of 1965. In early 1965, tensions between the two countries flared up once again when Indian forces entered the Rann of Kutch. The Pakistani armed forces sent them back after a short and decisive battle. In revenge, India started deploying its forces along the borders of Pakistan. Suddenly, on 6 September 1965, in the cover of darkness, India crossed the international border and attacked Pakistan from three sides. It had been planned to take over Lahore within 12 hours. However, the Pakistan army fought this war bravely with an enemy many times bigger than itself. The Pakistan armed forces forced the enemy out of his territories and India suffered a crushing defeat. The Pakistan Army, Air Force, and Navy fought fearlessly. The war lasted for 17 days and a ceasefire came into effect on 23 September 1965 with the intervention of the United Nations Organization UNO. Pakistan captured more than 600 square miles of arable and whereas India could only occupy 400 square miles of barren land. The Pakistani nation, united with its armed forces in this hour of need, provided kinds of support. Singers sang motivational songs which warmed the hearts of soldiers on the battlefield. Poets wrote patriotic poetry, which is popular to this day. Many brave soldiers embraced martyrdom. Tales of their heroic deeds are a proud part of our history. Major Aziz Bhatti, who sacrificed his life while defending Lahore, was awarded Nishani-Haider, the highest military gallantry award, and was declared the hero of Lahore. Indo-Pak War of 1971. After the elections in 1971, the government of Pakistan faced a political crisis between East and West Pakistan. India took advantage of this situation and extended full support to the anti Pakistan forces in East Pakistan, known as Mukti Bahini. In November 1971, the Indian forces entered East Pakistan and started attacking Pakistani posts with the help of Mukti Bahini. On 3 December 1971, Indian forces attacked West Pakistan and made attempts to cross the international border. Due to the vast distance between East and West, Pakistan could not maintain its supply line. Meanwhile, peace efforts were initiated by the United Nations. On 8 December 1971, the United Nations passed a resolution for a ceasefire. On 17 December 1971, President General Yahya Khan ordered his troops to lay down their arms in East Pakistan, and Bangladesh emerged as a new independent state. About 90,000 soldiers and civilians became prisoners of war. In 1972, the Simla Agreement was signed between India and Pakistan to release the Pakistanis prisoners of war. The Siachen conflict. The Siachen Glacier region in Kashmir is known as the world's highest battlefield. It has been a cause of continuous extended military conflict between India and Pakistan for decades. A ceasefire order in the region came into effect in 2003. The contested area in nearly 1,000 square miles. Sar Creek issue. This name is given to the water dispute between Pakistan and India. The dispute lies in the interpretation of the maritime boundary line between Pakistan and India on a 96-kilometer long tidal estuary in the river Indus. Before independence, the area was part of British India. After independence in 1947, Sindh became a part of Pakistan while Gujarat remained a part of India. In the reign of Kuch, the Indus Delta divides the Kuch region into the Indian state of Gujarat and Pakistani's province of Sindh. It is a fluctuating tidal channel, but both countries lay claim to it. Now I will discuss about War of Kargil of 1999. Kargil is made up of very rugged mountains, inaccessible peaks and ridges. It is a part of the region that was handed over to India during the unfair partition of the subcontinent. The people of that area have always dreamed of liberating it from the occupying Indian forces. A part of it was liberated during the First Kashmir War in 1948. However, the Indian Army reoccupied it in 1971. In 1999, a group of local freedom fighters occupied a few higher peaks that give them a command of the area. As soon as India learned about it, they launched a large scale brutal attack to regain control. The Pakistan army rushed to support the ill equipped freedom fighters. The short war ended and the two armies returned to their previous positions. The courage of the Pakistan army displayed during the Kargil war is a glorious part of Pakistan's history. Captain Colonel Sher Khan and Havaldar Laluk Jan embraced Shahadat and were awarded Nishane Haider for the acts of valor. These are home tasks for the day 1. Home task for the day 2 are you have to prepare a bank of words you find difficult and new in the topics. Thank you and have a nice day.